The education module is an enhancement to CenterPoint Payroll that allows you to track different certifications and training requirements for employees and the number of hours associated with those education requirements. If you've recently purchased the education module, you'll first want to make sure that you register it. So you should have received an email with a new registration code, and you'll go to Help, Product Registration, and CenterPoint Registration. You can either click Manual and manually enter in the registration code or copy and paste it, or you could click the online option. And if you aren't already logged into the Red Wing Software website, you'll be asked to go ahead and put in your user ID and password for the Red Wing Software website, and then click Next. And at the end of either process, you should see an option for the CenterPoint Payroll Education add-on that it was registered. You'll also want to make sure that you turn the module on by going to File, Administration, and Module Configuration Manager, and you'll want to make sure that there's a check mark next to Education, and at this point it should say Owned. I'm going to click OK. If that was the first time that you put the check mark in, then you'll want to exit out of CenterPoint and come back in order for those features to be available. To set up new certifications, you'll go to Setup, Payroll Details, and Training Certificates. To create a new certification, you'll click New. I'm just going to highlight one that I already have and click Edit. To set up a certification, it's as simple as putting in a unique abbreviation and a name. After you've set up all of your different certifications, you'll want to make sure that you add them to the employees that have achieved them. So you go to Setup and Employees, and then you can highlight an employee and click Edit to edit them. And once the education module has been added, there should be a tab for education. You'll see here where we've already added different training certifications for this employee, put in a completion date and an expiration date. There is room to put in comments, any comments that you want to include on that. And then there's an hours column where you can either track the number of continuing education hours that the person has achieved, or it could be the number of hours that are required for recertification. At the bottom of the screen, you have the option of attaching any certifications, any hard copies of those certifications, by going ahead and either clicking on the first icon, which would allow you to scan it directly from your scanner, or if you already have that hard copy as a file on your computer, you can click the second option and either drag and drop that file into this box here, or click Attach to find the file and attach it to this employee's record. And then finally, the education module adds some reporting for those certifications, which can be found underneath Reports and Reports, underneath Payroll Setup Lists, Employees, and then there'll be a report called Employee Education. On that report, you can filter for particular employees, different payroll departments. You can filter for those that are completed as of a certain date, those that are expired as of a certain date, whether or not it's active, and then whether or not you can filter for certain training certifications. I'm going to just go ahead and preview the report. And you'll see on the report that you can see the employee that achieved the certification, the completion, and the expiration date, and then any comments that have been included. One column that you might want to add to the report is hours. If you're using that column to track hours, you can add that column, but there's also other columns that can be added to the report.